Hey folks, Joshua here, your mediocre forever DM. And being the mediocre forever DM apparently comes with the burden of always having the last session's notes. And in this scenario, the session before the session before the session's notes. But it's a problem regardless, because my group just came back from a 4-week summer break. No one knew which way was north. Literally, no one knew exactly what direction they were heading in, where they were coming from. One of them asked if the bad guy was still alive, which I responded, yes, she is. Another thought they were in a different town that they were in about 3 sessions ago, left, went to a new town, and someone asked if they tamed the gorilla. Nope. You guys made sure you couldn't tame the gorilla when you guys unalived it. But I was no help either. I didn't have a recap, no clean summary, just a notebook with words that I couldn't decipher if it meant emotional snowstorm or goat herder vibes. So yeah, I needed help as much as they did. It was at this time that I was actually going to try a new tool, my Archivist note-taking. And that actually helped me. It categorized my notes, it broke it down, it gave me a summary, and I'm going to show you everything that it did with very minimal setup, because I was actually almost 45 minutes late to my own session, unprepared as much as they were, if not more. And this system actually is going to make it so therefore my next session I can be more prepared. So let's dive in. Let's get rolling. Okay, so when you first log in, this is what you're going to see. I'm going to kind of run over what I did and where I messed up real fast, and then I'm going to go over why I really like this AI tool for note-taking. So up first and front, this video is not sponsored by Archivist, so these were all my genuine thoughts, but I think this note-taking app is onto something, and I'll explain why. So when you go into the create campaign, you're just gonna go in here and name it. This is how you can differentiate everything. And then the system is a D&D 5e. Behind my head bubble here, you can actually do a cover photo, and then you can add a description. The description I don't think really adds much to the AI utilization. I think it just, so therefore you can differentiate it like I said beforehand. This is the part when you start putting information into the AI. When I did this originally, I literally just did player name, character name, and then character description, and then I pretty much just did a brief description like fearless human barbarian. So I tried to put an adjective and the race and the class. So I didn't give it too much information. I'm gonna go back and add more information, so therefore the tool can utilize a bit more information based on backstory to give me more information from that. And then this is the part that I skipped over completely, and I wish I didn't, but like I said, I was T-minus 45 minutes behind on my session. So this is the information, so therefore it can change the tone of the campaign, as well as the tone for the chatbot. So the chatbot's something I'm really interested to dive into. This is going to be utilized inside Discord, and the players players can actually talk to the chatbot. I'm thinking about making it into a PC, so therefore they have like a little robot following them, and they can utilize it. So if I'm role playing or focus on one person, another person has a question that they want to double check on all the lore and all the notes that have been in here, they can just ask the chatbot, and they'll be able to get information from how I understand it. So that's going to be a really cool tool, depending on how I can utilize it and if I get it sold to my players. But once you get that taken care of, you go in here and you can create your first session. I'm going to go ahead and pull my other session notes, so therefore we can dive into that. So I'm going to go ahead and get cut here and pull that for us. So this is what you're going to see. So this is what you're going to see in here with the session notes. You're going to see beats here, what they call it, and they categorize it in major, minor, and steps over the whole session. But we're going to go ahead and dive into the summary, because I really want to dive into the things that I think are really, really cool. I do really like the beats. I think I need to dive a little bit more into that to be able to understand it a little bit more, but it is a chronological order of the whole session that you did, so a really good reference tool. But this right here, kind of want to hint it toward the beginning, this is your recap, this is your summary. It's going to be based on the tone that you've put in previously, and if you want to make any changes, you can go ahead and do that. So I do like that they have a copy tool. You can put that right over to Discord, and it makes it super easy for you to go ahead and do that. What I did, I went ahead, I did the Discord recording. Once it stopped, I hit the command inside of Discord, and then it emailed me when it was all taken care of, and then I went ahead and saw this was in here, and I instantaneously just go ahead and put that into my Discord. I have a hashtag session recap, so therefore people, whenever they can go back in there, and then when we start the next session, I then read it. Very useful tool here. I was really happy at how clean it came out, and it actually had a lot of details based on the very minimal amount of information I gave it. It primarily went off the transcript from what I can see, which is perfect. Some of the transcript ones beforehand that I've had from other note takers were not this good. So, but the part that I'm really excited about is right here. So I'm going to be utilizing this with Legend Keeper. Now, how am I going to do that? I'm going to go ahead and pretty much go, Durik, these are notes from you on this specific one. Now, Durik is an NPC, so I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this into Legend Keeper under his his NPC, and now I'm going to have session notes on every single character, and then I'm not going to lose any headway that I've made with any of these NPCs. Fairness is going to be an ongoing character in the campaign, but he's going to be periodic because he's one of the deities. So it's going to be really useful to have these notes in here when he has to come back into the story, and I'm not going to be able to forget anything. It's going to be just a copy and paste. So it's going to take about 10 seconds per character to be able to get that over to Legend Keeper. Very clean. Of course, it will all also be in here as well. So if I wanted to use this as my note taking and my world building, I could do that as well. Now, this is the part that I messed up at. Wildheart is actually a PC. I didn't put the correct information in when I was building it because, like I said, I was way behind. So it thought it was an NPC, but I still just go ahead, put this in there, put it to the PC, and move forward. Also add this to Wildheart's Legend Keeper category page, and then we'll be good to go. And also, one thing I thought was really cool, it took the wolf that was going to be the monsters that they were fighting, so I can almost do like a Rolodex of monsters they fought, and build that inside a Legend Keeper as well. So utilizing this and Legend Keeper, I think, is going to be really, really good, and it's going to help me keep everything moving forward. It's going to keep me understanding exactly what everything Fenris has done when they reappear in the story. And then, of course, if this session had any factions, it did have one location. Again, this goes right into Legend Keeper. And then one thing I really like is moments, which I will dive into right now. I approved everything, so that's why it's all on the approved side itself. So let's jump back there. And I really like it because it's just small moments that happen inside this session. You kind of go back and reference. So, an example right here, Dragonborn Quiet Arrival. All this is saying that there is one Dragonborn was entering the hut, and there's an interaction with Resonos. So I can go in here and edit, get more information in here, and other ones that really weren't relevant, I can go ahead and delete. But this way, if I need to reference a session or anything like that, I can come back here. And I think they're working on getting everything to be published. I haven't dove into that just yet. I did publish mine. I want to dive into that. One thing I can say is that they have a really good documentation site to go over everything as well. It was really, really helpful when I was getting the Discord bot up and running. So I'm looking forward to diving into it and realizing what this can become. I think I'm hitting the tip of the iceberg. So just from my utilization of note-taking apps and everything like that, a lot of them are transcript dependent. They'll record people talking, and if you have any people who are utilizing one camera and one mic and one Discord, then it gets really, really difficult for specific note-taking apps. But this is more dependent on what is said about the character, and it's tracking those key elements in the actual characters itself. So, and then again, I don't know the notes. I'm going off of one session, but it gives much more immersive notes in the end of the summary. It breaks everything down into those categories, and it allows me to utilize that for the world building that I'm doing. So if you're into world building and you want a note-taking app that can actually add, this is the key essential one that I've seen that does everything that I need a note-taking app to do. And then the Discord bot, that's the tip of the eye, that's the cherry on the top of the cake, if I can utilize it if I want, how I want to. So the devs of Archivist, I think you guys are onto something really, really great here. It's insanely easy to use, as well as very minimal input to get really, really good output. So if I start giving it great input, I can only imagine how over the top all that information I'm getting back is. And then that's just going to make my world building better. That's going to make my sessions better. That's going to make my just overall experience of my game that much better. So I'm very excited to dive in a bit more. If you guys want me to do a more in-depth one on the more things I discover, please go ahead and comment below. I would like to be able to do that. I just want to see if anybody's interested in that. But thank you very much. Keep rolling, and I'll see you in the next one.